This is Smoke Joe Gamer on Twitch and YouTube. Hello. In today's installment of Holiday Buying Guide 2023, I'm going to be checking out Final Fantasy XVI. I've streamed it before. I didn't beat it, but I'm just going to play it for a little while, talk about it, what I like, what I don't like. It won an award last night at the Game Awards. So let's get right into it. Alright. So here we are. I haven't played this in a while, so not entirely sure what I need to do. I'm sure they want me to go in there for some reason. I'm level 20 already, huh? Oh, nice. I have a pet dog. I got some purple gear. Was I saving up for something? I don't remember. Yeah, it looks like I learned everything. Yeah, that's alright. So if I go over to System, let me just see here. Alright, so I'm doing frame rate mode, which is why the graphics might look a little blurry. Alright. Okay, maybe the next console generation will just, you know, get high frame rate and good visuals at the same time. We can only hope. So if I switch it over to graphics mode, I'm not seeing much of a difference, but I can see that it's noticeably lower frame rate. It's at 30 instead of 60, so for this particular game, I will definitely just take the, yeah, I'll take the higher frame rate. Okay, so that's like, yeah, this is like kind of emulating like an OLED kind of screen, just very vibrant colors. And yeah, this is, okay. So I'm just playing around with the color settings here. Just bear with me. Yeah, I like this one. Okay. Where's my map? Oops. There. Okay, let's go down into this dark cave. What could possibly go wrong?
bloody eel.
What is this place anyway? Some sort of shrine?
Oh, sorry. You've never been here before. This is the Hall of the Gate.
The gate?
It's a relic of the Fallen. Only the Phoenix's dominant can open it.
Hence the castle's name. This was where Joshua was supposed to...
Yes. He would have stepped through this door the next morning and listened to the words of our ancestors.
Would you have gone with him?
No. The apodatory is holy ground. None but the dominant may enter. I and the other shields would have stood guard here and prayed for my brother's safe return. Where the hell did he go?
Perhaps he went inside.
He couldn't have. He'd need the power of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Joshua.
Are you sure about this?
Nevermore.
Okay. So let's talk about the game a little bit.
Another gate. Let's see if this one opens.
I'd call this an action RPG. It has real-time combat, similar to Devil May Cry and other similar games like that. Which is fine. Like, I like the combat in the game. It's just that
Hardly call it a ruin.
you literally don't get points for style, right?
Like it was
So
built yesterday.
they give you all these different attacks, and you can do all these combos, but
Have you ever seen
you don't get
anything
extra
like
points
this?
for being more flashy or more skillful. So a lot of people are just going to keep kind of spamming whatever attack does the most damage. You'll see that in a minute. Story-wise, I guess the development team watched Game of Thrones, and yeah, there's definitely some similarities there.
Jill?
I've often joked that Clive is Jon Snow, basically. His stepmother hates him. He has a pet wolf. His younger brother has special powers. And so does his sister now.
The usual.
He's Jon Snow. Let's see if I can get through this without getting my ass kicked. Yeah, so, you know, you do these interesting combos and extra moves and stuff, and it's like, well, like, it's fun.
That's enough.
Yeah, combat's fun, but it's like you don't get extra points for better performance, you know?
More trouble.
And I'm just, okay, just remembering how to play here, that's all. So you have melee attacks, you have range attacks, and then you have different elements that you unlock. So the combat is fun, it's just, you know, because it's an RPG, I guess they don't want you to get extra XP and money and stuff, because that would make the game too easy, maybe. So.
How can these things still function?
So a lot of cool stuff you can do in combat if you feel like it, but you're not going to kill them any faster, and you're not going to get any extra points. This was also, I guess, developed by some of the same people who worked on Final Fantasy XIV, and it shows. So you can see how the art style and the graphics engine are very similar to 14. Also, you know, you're constantly getting new equipment that is only slightly better than what you already have. You don't get to assign attribute points. You know, you go to a shop and you buy a bunch of new items and you think you're good, and then like 20 minutes later there's something slightly better that they want you to buy. You upgrade your stuff and you find something that's better. So kind of a half-baked crafting system, I would say. The story is a bit confusing, like most JRPGs. So his younger brother was supposed to be the dominant of fire, and there can only be one dominant of each element. But now there's two fire people, so who knows? I don't want to spoil too much about the game if you haven't played any of it yet, and this is a later section here, but this is still PS5 exclusive for the time being. I expect it to probably get ported to Steam in a year. Although, I mean, if they've already said that won't happen, then sure, I'm sure somebody will let me know. Cool. Yeah, that's my dog. So then you have these fights where he transforms into a giant fire demon kind of thing, and you got to fight other icons, and you know who they are. It's Titan, you know, it's the ones from all the old games: Bahamut, Phoenix, Shiva. You've seen them in the other games.
Then let's give it one.
Ow. Okay, that's how I dodge. Okay. Ow. So you have, yeah, and then you have fights like this where I'm just like,
A little help. That'll help.
you have these, you know, easy fights against weak enemies. And then you get into a fight like this where enemies just have, like, ridiculous amounts of health. And I haven't played in a while, so I just don't have the muscle memory for this right now.
My wounds, boy. Get him, boy.
But basically, if you've played any Final Fantasy games, you know what to expect here with this combat and stuff. So. Yeah. The idea is you want to stagger them. And the game is actually pretty linear so far. And then there's like an arcade mode where you can replay missions to try and get higher scores, I guess, or something. I haven't tried that yet, though. Alright, here we go. Yeah, but in fights like this, expect to stagger them 2 or 3 times minimum. You know?
Does any of this make sense to you?
And you can only carry a limited number of potions. Good news is if you're already full and you pick up another one, it just heals you. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I somehow dismissed the map and I don't remember how to bring it back up. Oh well. So there you go, that's how the combat works, it's fine. It's a lot of button mashing. But you do get, you gotta dodge and stuff. So the amount of time it takes you to get through this game is definitely skill-based. You're definitely gonna get through the fights a little bit faster if you're not getting hit as much as I do. But I like the story and the characters so far. I like the graphics, the art style.
Whatever they are, I don't think they're friendly.
Oh, I've seen these guys before in other games, yeah. So I have a ranged attack, as you can see. I figured I'd use wind against these guys. Yeah, so they're called bombs for a reason. They blow themselves up. There, so that's fun. Yeah, and I just leveled up, not that it matters though, because there's no, you don't get to assign attribute points or anything, it's all automatic. And you get some ability points you can spend, but I honestly don't even remember what I was doing. Maybe I do need to just upgrade some stuff, I don't know. Okay, so there's some... Oh, I forgot I could do that. Oh, screw it. No, I don't care about that. Alright. Alright, let's spend some points, why not? Yeah, so I crafted this Stormcry weapon thinking, oh, this is going to be great. Well, you can't upgrade it, and then literally, like, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, I get this, and then I get this another 20 minutes later, so it's like, alright. Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to put in different skills here. This has a really long cooldown on it, unfortunately. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of dumb. That's probably better. Okay. So now where am I going? Over here. So I do like the main story, but like, so far the side quests are
Sure,
disappointing.
run this gauntlet too.
No. At least not that I ever heard about. I imagine the Phoenix would receive a warmer welcome.
Yeah, side quests are kind of boring, and the rewards for doing them aren't really that great. Although, I mean, how much time are you really going to spend doing side quests? I mean, they're optional,
Here
so...
we go again. Where will we end up this time?
Surrounded by contraptions hell-bent on...
Now, in terms of the difficulty and the pacing and stuff, I mean, I'm leveling up at the same rate that enemies are, so most enemies are the same level as me.
All the way to the end. Come on, let's keep looking.
As long as you just keep getting those slightly upgraded weapons and armor pieces, then you're fine. The game doesn't really get any easier or harder as you play. And then you get into another fight like this, that it's like, okay, like... I just did this like a couple minutes ago, but sure, that's fine. Yeah, so... Yeah, so you're just hitting the square button constantly. So the decision you're always making is, do I want to use my special abilities to stagger them quicker, or do I want to... or do I want to wait till they're staggered to deal more damage to them?
Boy. Not this time. Not this time. Too slow.
Yeah, so I do think that some of the fights are a bit too long. Some of these enemies have too much health. And then you get to the actual boss fights, and those can take a long time. Then you get the icon fights, which are really, like, flashy and really cool looking. You know, like Godzilla battles kind of thing, right? But at the same time, it's like just a lot of button mashing, a lot of quick time events.
Full like the rest.
So, you know, the game acknowledges that I'm doing cool things, but, you know, it doesn't really matter.
A little help. There's a good boy. Flames to me.
Okay. Alright. And so you only control one person for the whole game, Clive. And at this point I've never had more than 2 companions. You always have Torgal. And she replaced Sid. Because every Final Fantasy has a Sid, we know that. Right? Alright. Let's keep going. So this game was $70 when it came out. You can get it on sale at this point. I would say if you can get it for under 50, then great. You know. But remember, it is still a PS5 exclusive. Obviously, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, then you're not going to buy it. So, should you get the console just to play this? No. No.
Seems the feeling's mutual.
I mean, so far I'd give this game like a 7 out of 10. Because I really don't like these bullet sponge enemies. Like, these bosses are just total I shouldn't say bullet sponges, but you know what I mean. Like, they have too much health and they take too long to beat. But see, this is interesting though, because now they're telling me that he's vulnerable to wind. So, I think. Yeah, it's saying iconic vulnerability, so that's good to know.
Don't let them get away. Not this time.
Yeah, so he's only vulnerable to the wind. Ugh.
Better already. Well done, Torgal.
And of course, I only get phone calls in the middle of the stream. Never fails. Yeah, but see, look, so I gotta do this at least 2 more times. So, I would just say that the bosses have just way too many hit points. Oh, what is he doing?
Drawing in energy.
Not for long, it isn't. With me.
Oh, it wants me to hit him. Okay. Alright. I didn't know if what it wanted me to do, and then it told me. So. There we go. Oh, that's right. Hang on, I was gonna, I came in here before, I was gonna turn... Yeah, alright, let me turn this down so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Right? Alright, there we go. Alright. Staggered. Can I get him this time? Probably not. Nope. Alright. Got him.
It's done.
What are these creatures? And why do they keep attacking us?
And there is a demo you can play. So I would suggest playing that first, and then your progress does carry over into the main game. So the demo was like, oh cool, I want to play this, I like this, I'll totally buy it. But now I wish I hadn't spent $70 on this.
They're just protecting their home.
But I'm really glad I didn't get the deluxe edition. You know, games are just getting more expensive, that's all. And
Jill, look.
and what are you paying for? You're paying for the better graphics. You're not paying for better gameplay. You're not paying for better performance. You're paying the overhead costs to pay all the artists to actually draw all this stuff.
It's worth a closer look at whatever it is.
And they deserve it, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, that's... If you're wondering why games are so expensive, it's just because of the graphics, that's it. They cost more money to develop, thus they cost more money to buy, so they can remain profitable. I understand all that. But $70 is a lot of money.
Better already.
So far, I think this game is doing pretty divisive amongst Final Fantasy fans. Of course, every Final Fantasy game pisses off at least half the players, right? So yeah, you'll hear fans of Final Fantasy can kind of go both ways, but gamers in general probably would get more enjoyment out of this. You know, if you come into this with no expectations, and it's probably more fun that way. But if you expect this to be like all the other Final Fantasy games, you'll probably hate it. You know, I mean, it plays like Crisis Core and FF7 Remake more than anything else. So if you haven't played 7 Remake yet, and you want to get through that before you play the next one that comes out, you know, in 2 months, then you might want to just play that one instead, honestly. But a lot of the combat is just this. It's just keep hitting that square button. It's just I really wish that some of these enemies didn't have so many hit points, and I wish there was more strategy to some of these fights as well. Now see, like, Final Fantasy 13 only lets you play as one person at a time, but at least you could decide which one.
Wake wins. What the hell was that thing? It wasn't like the others.
It would seem this place holds even more secrets than we thought.
Get the items. And they are pretty generous with the potions, but you can only carry so many at once. But at least if you are already full and you pick up another one, it just heals you. Like, you just instantly use it, which is nice. And this got an award, I think, for sound design, and it's like, well, it's fine. You know, the music is pretty generic, orchestrated stuff. You know, I don't really have an ear for it, to be honest with you. I don't listen to a lot of like classical music and symphonic stuff anymore.
It's over.
So I mean, it's not bad. It's just not memorable either. See, this attack will hit everybody and heal me a little bit too, which is nice. Which is why I have it, it's just that it has a really long cooldown. But it's just, you know, you try to dodge when you have to, and then you just mash the square button, use abilities when they're available. That's it. Rinse and repeat. So, you know, I just killed 3 enemies with that attack, and the game keeps track of that stuff, and it tells you, but it's like, okay, well, what's my reward for doing good? Nothing, you know? It's like, Devil May Cry type combat doesn't work well in an RPG where there's no reward for better playing. And there's a reason why Devil May Cry isn't an RPG. You know? Or the same could be said for God of War, you know? They may have some RPG elements, but ultimately those games want you to use all of your attacks and string them together, you know? This game makes it seem like it wants you to do that, but it doesn't give you any incentive.
So, it isn't a dead end after all.
Apparently not.
Apparently not, indeed.
All seems to lead to this room.
And look what's in it. How old do you suppose this is? 1,000 years? More?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like it before. Who is that in the middle, do you think? Some sort of god?
And our hero isn't the smartest guy. There's some dramatic irony here because we know something that should have been obvious to him immediately.
You're him. The second dominant of fire. Who are you?
Supposedly there can only be one dominant, but there's two dominants of fire. And spoiler. And but Clive also has the ability to absorb other elements. He's not just fire, he can use wind too. And when you realize that his younger brother Joshua is Phoenix, like, we know what Phoenixes do, so the game kind of gives away huge chunks of the plot.
I'm back.
Well, if you don't want a spoiler, you might want to stop watching, I guess. I don't know.
Stop it! Please! Stop! I did this.
Took you long enough.
Joshua chose me to be his shield. He gave me his blessing and asked me to keep him safe. I should have protected him that day. It was my duty.
Clive.
Kind of seems like the sound in the Mouth movements aren't lining up. Oh well. What are you gonna do?
I'm sorry. I failed you. Joshua died. I killed him. And I blamed another for what I did. To spare myself the guilt. I feared that by accepting it, I would lose what little was left of me. So I ran. From everything. And now? Are you ready to accept the truth? I am. I know it won't be easy, but it's what I must do. So that Joshua's soul can finally rest in peace.
Yeah, the irony of this game is I would find it easier to recommend to non-Final Fantasy fans because I know they're just going to nitpick it and hate on it. So I've played plenty of Final Fantasy games, but I haven't finished all of them. But it's like you're not getting turn-based combat, you're not getting a full party to control. You're just getting the one guy, and you're just getting action, real-time combat, and just a lot of button mashing.
No matter how bitter the truth that awaits me, I will press on.
Ifrit.
Ifrit.
Right.
Show me who you truly are.
So if you've played any Final Fantasy game, you've seen all of these gods before, or icons, or whatever you want to call them.
Not this time.
It's important to understand that with this game, they were going for a mature rating. They wanted more gore and swearing and stuff. So that's the other thing with it is, if you're old enough to, play this, then you've probably played other Final Fantasy games at this point. I do not like this combat encounter at all. I went from having 2 helpers against small enemies to having no helpers in a fight where I really should have help.
toes, though.
And you gotta press R1 to dodge, just remember that. And of course, streaming can make this game harder too, because it's harder to get the timing right. There's some input lag going from the system into the capture card and all that. Alright, staggered him, that's good, right? Alright. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? Oh, what? Come on.
Still you deny it. Even when the truth's staring right at you. Come on, Clive. Face
Alright, so after his stepmother betrays him and his father, he gets sold to the Empire. He's basically a soldier slave. If he's me, why does he have, like, cooler stuff? I don't get it.
Not this time.
I'm going to stagger him like 4 times. This is ridiculous. And the game doesn't have any accessibility options with regards to, you know, button mashing and quick time event timing and stuff. So just be prepared for your arm to cramp up in these longer fights. So I'm probably just gonna stop after this fight because I got other stuff I gotta do today.
Not this time.
Alright, so staggered again. But this is kind of what I was talking about before. There's always this internal argument of, should I stagger him first and then use all my attacks, or should I try to stagger him quicker? It doesn't really make a difference as far as I can tell. Okay, but see, now I'm out of healing potions, and I don't have my dog to heal me either, so... Now, in some cases, there are checkpoints in the middle of the fight, but they don't tell you. Alright, got him. Yeah. And then, of course, you've got cutscenes in the middle of the fights.
No escape, eh? It's alright. I'm done running from you.
Does this mean the fight is over? No, of course not.
Together. It's time to find out who we are.
What? A new meter? Oh, wow. Okay. Beast mode.
Show yourself, freeze.
Okay, so this is fun. Okay, I'm hitting him a lot. This is cool. Still gonna have to stagger him again after this. So, yeah. But see, all these extra visual effects are actually making it hard to figure out what's going on here. I don't like having the flames on the sides of the screen. Seriously? All right. know, the fight's still not over. See, I gotta mash the button. Yep. The fight doesn't end until you've had to do some button mashing and quick time events and mid-fight cutscenes and, you know. So the game can be fun, but there are a lot of cases where you just don't really feel like you're in the driver's seat. So games are getting more expensive, they look better, but they're also more cinematic, which isn't necessarily a good thing. It seems like there's just less stuff for the player to do. I'd say this game's good, not great. I don't think it justifies the $70 price tag. But you gotta figure if it stops being exclusive to PS5, it'll probably get some kind of definitive edition on other platforms, so, you know, you could always wait for that. Hey, I got a trophy. Cool. But the fact that she's like a dominant of ice or water or whatever, that just, no one cares about that because she's not the main character, you know.
No more chasing shadows. The hooded man isn't here. We should go.
Witness one man's struggle to be like Jon Snow.
Clive, are you sure you're all right? Whatever it is, you can tell me.
I had a hard enough time telling myself. I awakened as a dominant of fire, right here in this castle, and I've been running from it ever since. And now I know for certain who I really am. The second icon of fire who killed my brother and burned this castle to the ground was me. Ifrit.
Clive.
I took so many lives that night and destroyed so many more, including yours. And I must atone for the crimes I've committed, but not before I learn the whole truth. How can a second icon of fire even exist? And why was I chosen as his dominant? Who is the hooded man who brought us here? And what does he want? I need to know. And since I'm still breathing, I might as well make myself useful.
We'll find your answers together. I want to learn the truth too. There'll be time enough for atonement when we're done.
I was hoping you'd say that. I don't think I could do this without you.
What did she do?
And yet, they're what brought us back together.
Thank you, Jill.
Hey, look who it is. Spoiler.
If he is here, then the disturbance I felt at the camp must have been confounding. The hour is later than I thought.
Look who it is. The ginger kid that we thought was dead. Yep, so you button mashed your way through a lengthy boss fight, and now you watch a whole bunch of cutscenes. So I think this dude is supposed to be like the mountain. And there was a female character I had to take out, and she reminded me of Cersei Lannister, of course.
Tell me who did this, or I'll see you suffer the same fate. The man who delivered the coffer said Sid paid him. I let you run amok with the rest of your rats, and this is how you repay me? Find out where he is. I'll crush him, flay him, rip out his heart, him and all his filthy brood. And send every last one of them out.
What's in the box?
Yes, my lord.
Getting a real Seven vibe from that. Is it someone's head? What's in the box? What's in the box? Yeah, and Sid is actually voiced by a guy from Game of Thrones. He played one of the Iron Men who was helping Theon and then betrayed him.
Benedict.
So I'm guessing that's Benedicta's head in the box, and they didn't show us. Spoiler, Benedicta dies. Oh. Cool. Alright, so maybe that'll make some of these fights a little faster now. That's good.
So, what next?
We return to Eastpool. I promised the mayor I'd talk to him again,
I mean, it is a nice looking game.
amongst other things. She may be loath to leave. I can't help thinking she'd be safer with Sid too.
Alright, we should arrange an introduction then.
So there's things I like about the game, there's things I don't like. It can be fun, it can also be very tedious and frustrating. It seems like as long as you keep up with your equipment, then you should be on equal footing with all the enemies you fight. But also be prepared to keep buying slightly better equipment every half an hour or so. There's the map. I'm guessing this city is under attack. And then in terms of themes, like the game takes a very ham-fisted attempt to tackle slavery. Oh boy. Town got razed. This is not your dad's Final Fantasy, let me tell you.
What happened here?
It's dark.
Imperials. You'll pay for this.
We've got a live one.
What are you doing here? Answer me! Remember our orders? No survivors!
Who would order such a thing?
It's over.
Yeah, they got these fun, like, finishing moves that he does automatically. A mortal blow, they call it. Same difference. Of course, now I'm not sure where to put my face. There we go. Okay, so now you can see the objective, and I won't be blocking any health bars. Alright, that's fine. And can't save during battle, so I guess I gotta keep playing. Okay. Yeah, see. So the branded are slaves. He was basically enslaved into the Imperial Army, but now he's a deserter. Although, can you really call somebody a deserter if they didn't want to join your fucking army to begin with? Let's roast these guys and get some health back, huh? There we go.
It's over. You will not take me.
Alright.
My wounds, boy. That's enough.
Oh no. Who the fuck are you?
All must burn. The bearers and those who sheltered them. By Empress Annabella's command.
Great. Just what I wanted. Another boss enemy.
Clive,
So it would be nice if the game gave you more opportunities to just explore. But the game is very linear, unfortunately. Not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, you can't really explore as much as you'd like to. There aren't really too many opportunities for level grinding if you want to try and get an edge over your opponents. I do not have the patience for your shit right now, you stupid hammer guy. It's not hammer time, it's time for you to die. I'm gonna roast you. Oh wow, that didn't really... wasn't as effective as I hoped. Oh well. I was saving it, but now I'm realizing it replenishes pretty quickly and it doesn't last very long either. There we go. Ow. So as soon as I get this awesome ability, I immediately have to fight an enemy who has a bajillion health to compensate. So, like I was saying before, the game never gets easier. You know? Yeah, the game never gets easier, because as soon as you get stronger, so do they. Enemy health is designed so that it will always take the same amount of time to kill them, no matter how strong you get. Got him. See, there's no good place to put my face in this game, let me tell you. Alright. And look, I'm getting all these materials, and maybe they'll be useful. So what's going to happen is, when I get to the next merchant, I'm going to buy a slightly more powerful sword, I'm going to upgrade it, and then 20 minutes later there's going to be something better. So just a lot of crafting materials that you're not even going to end up using.
I'm sorry, Lady Hannah. You deserved so much better. All of these people did. Better than my mother.
Too late! Gav! Clive! Acting on the orders of the Duchess, eh? We knew Eastpool was harbouring bearers. Thought they were safe enough hidden up here.
Well, you have the branded and you have the bearers. Okay.
If they'd have only come to us sooner, none of this would have had to happen. Fuck!
So bearers are people with magic abilities who are enslaved.
The way Father embraced them, when the other nations spat on them as slaves. The way an accident of birth gave them a power that others lacked.
But why kill everyone? They meant no harm. They just wanted to be free.
This world judges that a crime punishable by death. Which is why we're going to change it. Gav, we want to help.
Thought you'd got your own stuff to be getting on with.
We do. But it can wait.
In that case, we should head back and tell Sid you've had a change of heart. He was always on it yet to join us.
All right.
We'd best be quick. Last I heard, he was planning another excursion.
What about the villagers?
We gotta bury him, don't we?
Gonna leave yous lot to take care of things here.
Of course. We'll make sure they get a proper burial. Thank you. All of you.
When you're ready, then.
But, you know, obviously I like the game enough to keep playing it, because I do want to see how this all plays out.
Lead me to your nest. Lord Kruger has a message for your leader. If only he knew where to send it.
Yeah, and the villains are like so stereotypically cartoonish evil, you know. All these villains kind of remind me of like the Shredder and, you know, Cobra, Skeletor.
Then
You know what I mean?
we have a lot to discuss.
Can I save my game? So yeah, there's the illusion that you can save whenever you want, and you can't. Oh, hang on, I unlocked more stuff. Let's see. Oh, I want that. Cool. I want that too. Alright. Sure, why not? Alright. There we go. So, that was my quick stream and review for Final Fantasy 16. It's fine. It's good, it's not great. It has its pros and cons. Doesn't really have the same kind of feel or tone as other Final Fantasy games, which is not really isn't really good or bad. It simply is. I don't feel like I got my money's worth on this, especially because they just announced a bunch of DLC. So, you know, the game is polished. It's not really glitchy. It doesn't really have performance issues. It looks nice, so there's plenty of things to praise here, but it also doesn't really do anything new or different for the genre, for the series, or anything. And I don't expect every game to reinvent the wheel. But there's just not enough in this game, like, it's not unique enough, I would say. It's not different enough from other similar action games. What the hell is this? Oh. Okay. That was the redeemable item they were telling me about. But I'm not going to use it. And I'm not going to upgrade this any further because there's no point. And I can't upgrade this. So, okay, great. Alright, I'm just gonna save again, why not? Yeah, so I have no idea how long this game is. It's also not telling me how long I've played it. Actually, let me, 7 hours, that's it? Yeah, but this doesn't, the PlayStation often misreports that. So I don't know if that's counting the 90 minutes that I just played, but, you know, and then you can already see there's a $10 DLC pack that you can buy for this, so. Alright, so that's the end of the stream. Hopefully you have a better idea of, you know, whether you're going to like this game, whether you want to buy it or not. You may want to just grab it on sale. You know, because games are constantly going on sale all the time now, so there's no reason to spend 70 bucks on this. If you can get it for under 50, then great. If you absolutely love Final Fantasy and you have to play every Final Fantasy game, then yeah, of course you'll buy it, or you already did, and that's fine too. If you're new to the Final Fantasy series, it's actually not a bad entry point because every game is a different story, different characters, so you're not missing anything from not playing the other games. So yeah, it's not a bad starting point, but it's also not an accurate representation of what the series really represents. So if you like Game of Thrones and you're upset at the fact that there's yet to be a good Game of Thrones game, then this might be fun for you too. They're definitely copying it in many ways. So, all right, that's it. See ya.